Hello and welcome to my 25th anniversary playthrough of Half-Life. I'm Dario Casali and I was a game designer at Valve for 26 years between 1996 and 2022. I was in charge of shipping 19 single-player and 8 multiplayer maps for Half-Life. To mark the 25th anniversary of its release, I'm going to play through the game, share stories of what life was like in the early days of Valve, and what it was like working on the game that put us on the map. I'm also really interested to see how the game feels today in 2023, and how much of it stands up now that features that were novel at the time have been a stand-in in gaming for 25 years, and virtually every fidelity aspect of games has been improved upon since. Games are infinitely more complex in almost every way now, so I'm going to look beyond the 1990s graphics and concentrate on the experience to reconnect with why this game had such an influential impact. During 1997 and 1998, when we were working on Half-Life, I wrote a daily diary that enabled me to go back and read what life was like at the time of creating this game and what life was like at the very beginning of Valve. So I'm going to draw on that and memories of what happened back then and how we built the game, as well as experiencing the game for the first time in a very long time in this playthrough. So let's get started. 25 years is a long time. One way of illustrating the passing of this much time is unfortunately a photo of me then and now. So this was me shortly after joining Valve, and this is me a short time ago. How else has life changed since the 90s? Well, as you've just seen, this haircut was still cool. This is what computers looked like. This is what we made phone calls on. This is what we used to take pictures, listen to music on the go, connect to the internet, and this is how we do all of that now. So, progress? I don't know. You tell me. Let's look at a couple more pictures before I start. This one is a photo of my first desk at Valve, which you can see they're real desks. I mean, not everybody had real desks at Valve at the time. Some people had a door resting on 2 sawhorses, but thankfully I got an actual folding picnic table. Wow, look at that, 2 folding picnic tables as my desk. And of course, you can see I'm playing Quake, which was a very popular game in the office at the time. Everybody loved id Software games. Everybody was pretty much at Valve because of id Software games. Also, you can see there's a Coke. I drank way too many of those when I was building Half-Life, and the stereo to my right, which is usually playing the Prodigy, probably. So that was my very first desk at Valve, and then here are a couple more pictures when I finally moved into a corner office with John Guthrie and Dave Riller. You can see that not really much changed, except now I'm actually doing some work. So that would have been Wellcraft on my screen, and this office is very messy and very cramped. We have our monitors back to back, and that would have been Dave Riller to the left, and that was me to the right. And then John Guthrie was to the right, still off camera, behind that little divider. Okay, so that was what the Valve offices were like in 1997. And here we have a shot of, I don't think everybody is here, but almost everybody is here. This is a shot of the Valve team who were working on both Half-Life and Prospero at the time, I believe. So this was actually 2 game teams, if you'd believe it. And I can't see that there are anything more than like 20 people in this shot. But that was us at the time. This was Valve's building exterior at the time. This is the Emerald building in Kirkland, Washington. Okay, with that said, let's start this game. So beginning of Half-Life, let's go.
I am your holographic assistant. Let's begin by stepping into your suit. You can see it suspended up ahead of you. If you see one of these buttons, press it, and I will appear.
Yes. So the holographic training lady here was originally modeled off the Office Manager at the time. I think we shipped that model, but I can't be sure because although she passes she has a passing resemblance to the Office Manager, and I'm not really sure if we kept that or not, but I think that's her. All right, there's the HEV suit, everything. Look at this, octagonal pipes. Yeah, Back in these days, we were only able to have 350 to 550 world geometry faces per scene. That means we could only draw 550 world faces at a time. So in order to stay into that budget, we had to do things like this, where pipes were only 8-sided, and we had to basically segment off each scene using a little corridor, a little S-shaped corridor that would break the viz between one scene and another. So yeah, 350 to 550 world geometry faces per scene. To put that into perspective, I'm pretty sure modern computer game characters have more faces dedicated to a nose hair than we have to draw the entire world. I mean, I might be exaggerating, but you get the point. Alright, so let's get into this thing. Alright, what's next? Push the box into the hole. Okay.
Try jumping this.
That thing is floating off the wall. This was another trick that level designers did, where if you put that thing on the wall, it would break the wall up into even more faces. So you would hover them off just slightly and then hope that the player didn't notice it like I have.
Long jumping requires its own charging module, seen here. To activate your long jump, you will have to duck and move forward, and then launch into a jump. Once you're up on the platform, press the button and I will demonstrate.
Okay. This long jump, Gabe and Mike really loved Mario, and they really wanted movement puzzles and kind of like movement dynamics to feature in this game. So we added this little thing here as a
nice job.
A little a jump skill to master. And they'll also, those cockroaches will also go towards blood, which is a pretty cool feature. Alright, so I need to just arrange these. Our physics definitely, I mean, it was good for the time, but definitely Half-Life 2 really improved that.
Finally, if nothing else works, you can try.
Alright, here we are, crowbar.
Make sure you picked up the crowbar and simply smash.
That fire rate is just amazingly cool. I mean, look at that. That's just... That's so manic. And it's also funny when you swing and you're not hitting anything, it's half the attack speed. So much fun. That is just so much fun. I don't think that you would ship a crowbar this fast anymore, but it's just so ridiculous. It's so much fun. Thanks, Barney. Hey, look at this. The environment's getting a little better.
Press your use key to engage the...
More interesting, I should say.
Press your forward and backward keys to increase or decrease the speed of the train. Press your use key again.
And off we go. I think that's the end. So when I joined Valve, the project was named Quiver. A few other names were thrown around when we were trying to settle on Half-Life, and as you can see, here are some that were the most popular: Bent, Dirt, Lead, Pressure, Screwed. I think we should have called it Screwed. That would have been amazing. And then far down on the list of names that were still in the running, but clearly not the favorites, you can see Half-Life there. So in 1996, the very first images I was ever sent, because I was still in the UK waiting for my visa after I joined Valve, and I was kind of working on this and that from the UK as I could. And the very first images I was sent for level design concepts were these. We have some black and white, what are they, ray traced or something, images of tunnels with pipes and stuff like that. This one has pretty much just a basic vehicle tunnel refurbished. This one has some draped tubing textures in it, regular lighting patterns from overhead. This one has some cool atmospheric fog coming through a grate, which we obviously couldn't do, but it looked awesome. This one, I was always confused by this one. I wasn't really sure if those were barrels or pipes or whatever. And then we have This elevated walkway with lighting underneath, I really liked it. I'm pretty sure I used that on multiple parts of the game. And then the spiral staircase, which we probably could never have built because we only had a budget of 550 faces for the entire scene. So pretty much one of those stairs would have taken up all of that.
Good morning and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train is provided for the security and convenience of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel.
So this intro was built later on in the product cycle when much of the technology was already done. We wanted to make sure that we showed a lot of the innovations that Half-Life had. Things like scripted sequences like this guy, and then skeletal animation and new lighting features, new rendering features and stuff. So we basically wanted to throw every last feature we had into this because we were pretty aware that you have most of players at the very beginning of games and then they sort of drop out over time, so we really wanted to have a nice big upfront impact. In addition to obviously all of the game tech we wanted to show off, we also needed this to set the scene and tell the backstory of who the player is and where the game takes place and all that kind of stuff. So I think we'll tell you that you're Gordon Freeman. Here we go. Age 27.
At 1900 hours in the Level 3 facility. The semi-finals for high school.
And that was as far as we ever took telling you who Gordon Freeman was or who you are. We really spent a lot of time trying to get the player to feel completely neutral, or the character to feel neutral, so that you really felt like you were the character in the game. You were the player. That's why we didn't have any third-person identifications of this guy or anything like that. Oh, here we go. There's the skeletal animation dude. Very quiet, but very cool looking. We wanted just for the player to be way more immersed by taking on the identity of the player as themselves rather than a very strong character. So he never says anything throughout the whole game and you never see him.
Continued employment in the Black Mesa Research Facility. Missing
hey, there he is again. And there's the first G-Man sighting. Hello.
Field, you have been exposed to radioactive or other hazardous materials in the course of your duties. Contact your
makes me think of the Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that at Disneyland.
Your future depends on it.
Here we go. I remember this door was made really early on in Half-Life. This sort of these bars that draw back. Kind of cool that it made it into the final version. All right. Before we start, though, I just wanted to show a couple of screenshots here. This was the very first design document I got when I came to Valve. This was dated January 1997. I guess the title of this is Belly of the Beast. I don't think that was the product title at the time, but maybe this is more of a descriptive title. A fine product by Valve Software. As you can see when you read through this, it was a fairly similar concept to what Half-Life became. Target platform is kind of comical these days. Minimum frame rate 15 to 18, and the resolution, I don't think any screen that's been produced in the last 15 years has had a resolution that low. And then there are some details on some chapters here. You're in Big Trouble is pretty much exactly how Half-Life starts. Monsters coming out of a portal, and then the same concept that exists in Half-Life 1, which is reinforcements have arrived, but it turns out they're not on your side. I do remember that from the very, very beginning, when I was even talking to Valve about joining. They were describing the project as this thing where you are in the middle of a bunch of creatures and the people who came to clean them all up. So a pretty interesting early document, and you can see some of the cool ideas that were been thrown around in the beginning of 97. Hello, sir. Can I...
You'll just have to wait until after the test. This is all within theoretical limits.
I absolutely love that they all have the same voice actor, and
Hello there.
the delivery when you combine these low poly models and the kind of the low resolution textures and the absolutely expressionless faces. You combine that with the really entertaining delivery of the lines. It's so, to me...
We should delay for another recalibration.
To me, it's just so much more entertaining than far more professionally, high-fidelity done performances of these days. Oh, look, there's the G-Man again. Yeah, I love these characters. I love the animations and the models. Just everything to do with that just makes it entertaining to me.
You got the wrong airlock, Mr. Freeman. You know I can't let you through here.
And the random responses these guys have, the funny part of that is, you know, they almost never match the context. But, you know, that is just hugely part of the charm.
Freeman?
And these are all the people that we worked with, apart from him, of course.
Why do we all have to wear these ridiculous ties?
Doug, Steve, Ted, Karen. And then me in the corner. Greg, Ken, Chuck, Guthers. So fairly small team at the time. Wow, I can't believe that this team is this small.
Welcome to the HEV Mark IV Protective.
Here we go. This music was so iconic at the time because we'd be watching playtests, and every time this music would come on, we'd all be nodding our heads to the beat. You'll see no mirror in the bathroom, obviously, because we don't want to give away who Gordon is.
To wear these ridiculous
Why is he saying that on the bathroom? Okay, so he should clear his throat when I do this. Oh, there he goes. So funny. I just love those little touches. Alright, let's get up to that test chamber.
Alright, Gordon, your suit should keep you comfortable through all this. The specimen will be delivered to you in a few moments. If you would be so good as to climb up and start the rotors, we can bring the anti-mass spectrometer to 80% and hold it there until the carrier arrives.
Start the rotors. I remember the nagging lines that we had for this a lot, because a lot of players that we watched who came through this would be still looking around downstairs while.
It's probably not a problem. Probably, but I'm showing a small discrepancy.
Probably not a problem.
No, it's well within acceptable bounds again. Sustaining sequence.
The number of times I heard it's probably not a problem, probably developing this game, I've lost count. Pretty much whenever there was a bug, that line would come up. Alright, get in there.
Shutting down. No! Attempt to shut down. It's not. It's not. It's not shutting down. It's not.
So I'm going to pause it for a second. Yeah, like I said a little earlier that I was going to talk about Kelly Bailey and John Guthrie again. They pretty much... I came into work one morning and there was this sort of buzz at the office. And everyone was excited because this disaster sequence had been put together the previous night by Kelly and John. I guess they must have stayed pretty much all night putting this together, and we were all totally blown away by it. I think up until that point, pretty much the whole game was composed of existing in 3D space and just moving through 3D space and interacting with characters and puzzles and stuff. But this was the first time we had a sort of audio-visual experience that you weren't in a sort of like a third-person experience. You were still in it, but things were happening around you. The screen was going blank. We were using custom audio, stuff like that, to generate this event that happened that you have no control over. And that was the thing that was really novel at the time, especially since all of this was done with level design and some custom audio. And I remember that morning bumping into Gabe in the corridor and him saying to me something like, so what do you think? Changes how you look at level design, doesn't it? And he walked off with a giant smile on his face. And I think this was one of those points where the product had a very new and evolved sense of experience. It really pushed things forward, and I really credit those guys for doing all of this. Alright, I have control again. Yeah, so that was the sequence that we all were really excited about, and then let's proceed. I love that gag. Ooh, is this a scripted sequence? Get up from... Hey, don't shoot me! The animation of him putting one foot up and then stepping back always just had me in fits of laughter at the time.
That'll look nice in my trophy room.
Be a zombie, one of his death animations. He just basically puts one leg up and then falls backwards. They're just so cute, these things. I hate to shoot them. Ooh, it goes around corners, through walls. Yeah, super sad every time I kill one of those. That's funny.
I refuse to go another step. I'm going to stay here and wait for my colleagues.
That is so. That's just the kind of thing that I just absolutely love about Half-Life. It's unintended comedy because of no context.
Oh, this is as far as I go.
Hey, you're back. And then telling me he's not going to follow me. That's amazing. You don't say. Makes me not want to shoot headcrabs though. They're just too damn cute. There we go. That's one way of doing it. Hey, who are you?
Greetings. Let me take care of that wound for you.
Oh my god, I completely forgot they did this. Can you do it again?
Did all of this, you know. All of it. Why are you leaving me here? Lead the way.
I need a mobile health kit, please. One through. Oh, you're joking. Holy f...
Much of a burden?
Wow, the radius. You sound like they're having fun even in death. G-Man again. Here we go.
Let's go. I'll stay here.
No.
With my brains and your brawn, we'll make an excellent team.
Thought I was an MIT graduate, mister. Right over here. Thank you.
Fascinating. I never suspected such things could be.
Excellent. Perfectly in context. Ah. Oh wow, I remember this guy. This lift was, I believe Brett Johnson made this. I hate to say stuff like that, because what if I get it wrong? It could really offend the person who actually did it. But this is cool. This is where the head crabs come flying down the... Yeah, here they come. They get pushed by the fan and then flying down here, and you can bat them out of the air, I think. Or maybe they just fall onto the air. Let's see. Down they go. Or you can just step out of their way and they'll go harmlessly to the bottom. One more. Can I hit him? Ah, he got me anyway. Scumbag. Ah,
holy rocking chair.
Oh, shit, now I have to deal with them all. Oh, oh no f***ing way. Son of a... What the f... Wow, my health is appalling, but apparently I've got a bull squid here. Oh shit! Guy was too heavy for that grate, wasn't he? So we definitely have environmental sounds, but there aren't many of them. And that's making me feel very... It's kind of setting a very lonely tone, a very, like, isolated. So the mood is very much, I'm by myself in this sort of abstract, strange environment here. It's very unfamiliar. And it's kind of a cool... Jumping puzzles, my favorite. Anybody who watches my Doom playthroughs knows that I love jumping puzzles. Although this is just walking, I guess. Yeah, I'm definitely getting this sense that these environments, they're sort of mostly static, and they're definitely instilling a sense of isolation and loneliness here, which is pretty cool. I do like the pacing so far. Okay, here we are back again. Transition office complex. Alright, we are now in chapter 4. So this is where I'm going to take a break, and I will take this up in the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you for the next video, which will be chapter 4. Bye.